Sandy Powell. Welcome to the Roundtable. Topic today is one that breaks my heart that we even have to have these kind of discussions. But it is about our missing people, missing persons, children and adults. Reverend Powell and I are going to have some heart-to-heart discussion about it. And I think it's important that the more awareness is being made to this topic, the better we're going to be able to safeguard ourselves and our children. So, Reverend Powell, thank you for being here today to talk about this, I don't want to call it a hot topic, but this is a pressing matter.
Yes.
In our community and in our nation. Missing people, children coming up missing, adults coming up missing, and I think it's something that we've always known that happens. People get missing or people are not found or something like that, but now it just seems to be an epidemic, something that is out of control, and I almost want to say that it seems or appears that our law enforcement or those who are supposed to protect us aren't able to. And so I wanted to talk about this today to just kind of put the awareness out there, one more avenue, one more medium that could shine some light on this topic. Give me your.
Well, I think it's a very awesome show you're doing today on this subject matter. You know, from the pulpit, I've been preaching and teaching for the longest about, you know, children interaction with adults with cell phones and how that's going to be one of the I guess gateways that the young people, children be, you know, lured out of their home.
Right,
but then you go back years ago, it used to be on a milk carton, you know, a child missing, you know,
yes.
We'd see that, but it really didn't phase us. We just thought it was just something happened, runaway child. But well, you look at it now, it's not just a runaway. It's children being lured out of their home. Now it's going to the point that they actually snatch them off the street. I was watching a movie last year called Get Out. Yeah. And that movie depicts exactly what is going on. Anytime something happens in Hollywood, it's a whole major issue in society.
Yeah, I want to go back to that part that you talked about our technology, our cell phones, and our electronic devices that are being used to not just lure children, but lure adults out of their home, out of their place of safety. You know, online dating is very popular. There are sites for people to meet each other. And then, of course, you know, there is the downfall of children being pulled to sites for predators to lure them out of their home. And I remember you years and years and years ago talking about these electronic devices, phones and tablets and things like that, that would be used to do this. And now we're finding that what you have been talking about for more than a decade.
And it's really what it boils down to is accountability. You know, if a child going to have an electronic device, you know, the parents should be safeguarded. You know, you should be able to go in at any moment in time and retrieve that electronic device and see what's going on.
Right.
And with kids so much in advancement, they have a way of dropping stuff, hiding stuff before you get to it.
Right.
If you're going to let them have it, be up to date on what's going on, how to utilize it to safeguard them.
Right.
So with all this happening with the abducting of people, you know, and you know, people get religious sometimes. They use this thing about UFOs. You know, that's supposed to be part of it. The enemy trying to prove that the world wasn't raptured, you know, stuff like that. But that's just a trick. But the reality is, there are young people, older people who've been, you know, taken in, and the studies are showing they've been abducted for their organs. And the movie,
sex trafficking. I know that now they have this little thing called TikTok, where, you know, mini videos is what they do.
That's new to me.
Is it new?
Yes, it's new to me.
See, I'm up. And basically, it's like little miniature videos, little things that you do. And I know for a fact, because I had a family member who was using it, and they make videos of themselves, but they're children, and they should not be making these videos.
Okay.
But these videos are also being used to share and get likes. But little do they know that it's not just their friends that are liking and sharing, that they're actually opening themselves up to sexual predators who could be using this as to how they target their children. And, you know, our kids have a tendency to tell everything.
They're vulnerable, but they don't know.
Well, you know, out of
developed.
ignorance.
Yes.
But they do feel comfortable with telling a lot about themselves on social media. And so this TikTok or Facebook or Snapchat, Instagram, all of these little areas are avenues that are used for predators to scroll and have their pick of the litter, so to speak, in trying to get kids to, you know, to lure them from their safe place.
Do they also have a location connected to that?
Kids, see, all of those things that we have on our phone, like we have Facebook and we have Instagram, and all of these have a location thing that you can put, you know, the way it can be, you know, you can be located or followed, or I'm showing up at this location. That's why I don't like that on my phone, because I don't really like people knowing I'm at this location or that location. I really don't like that. But this is something that we don't even understand, that not just your friends are watching all of these things that you're putting out there for everybody to see, but you have people who have mean intentions and evil intentions also watching your platforms and watching what you're doing. And parents, like you said, sometimes we don't understand that it's not that you don't want your children to have privacy, but they're not old enough to safeguard themselves.
Yeah.
And so therefore they should have access to their devices. Me personally, I feel like there's no such thing as privacy outside of putting on your clothes.
I agree.
And even then, I might still be trying to peek, like what's that spot right there? You know, I still might be looking, because I think that our new society gives our children so much rope that sometimes they get hung by the very rope of allowing them to be themselves or grow into their own, when clearly we know that mentally or physically, mentally, they are not equipped at an early age to make decisions or to care for themselves and to safeguard themselves with looking down the road and seeing a danger for themselves. But for some reason, we feel like if we give them the leeway, that they're going to come up with the right answer sometimes.
And 9 times out of 10, it does not go that way. But as you're talking about what is happening in society, the Scripture teaches in the Bible that notice that peerless time shall come. And peerless time means complicated, complex, unorthodox things will happen. And we live in that. This is the preparing for the second coming of Christ.
Right.
And a lot of things happen from our government to the state, to the city, to the local level.
Right.
And we, the church, still again, cannot be having our head as an ostrich in the sand.
Right.
You know, we got to be looking and watching and praying, but yet having a plan of action to safeguard our congregation. You know, World Change, we actually have security that are watching as well, 24-hour surveillance, video surveillance, and because they'll come up on the property and they can do it real quick and be gone.
Well, you know, I've been an advocate for that at church as well, is to not even let church be your safe place to feel like you can let your guard down and let your children run freely. I think even at church, you have to keep a watch, because, you know, just because people come to church doesn't mean that they have right intentions.
In fact, they had a situation at the church where a visitor was in the restroom taking advantage of a small child.
Right.
The parents let them go to the restroom by themselves. And I see it at Walmart all the time. Parents let the children go to the bathroom by themselves. I was in the bathroom one time, this child came in, and I went to the father and said, "So it's nothing personal, but that's not a wise thing to do, let your son come into the restroom without you being with them, because anything could happen."
Anything. And our eldest grandson is 10. And even to this day, he's 10. If there's not a male with me that can take him into the restroom, to go to the restroom, then he has to come into the ladies' restroom, and I'll safeguard the stall while he goes in and does what he needs to do. But I just don't feel safe enough to let him go into a restroom unattended.
It don't take a matter of minutes.
It doesn't take violation. Long. And so I think that we just have a freedom that we shouldn't have. But back to this, the reason why is because of the evil that has digressed to. Society has digressed to this evil where children are just playing out in the front yard. I think we read about a couple of days ago where a 5-year-old and a 6-year-old were abducted right out of their front yard playing. And I think I saw a follow-up on it, and I pray I'm right, that they were found and that they were actually brought back home. But the fact that a 5 and a 6-year-old
wild in the front yard by themselves.
You know, when I'm driving and I see children out playing in the front yard with no adult, I get immediately mad. And you know, my first thing is, where's the parents? You know, where's their guardian or whatever? Because I know it doesn't take but a split second, especially when you're on mainstream roads and main highways, where it can just happen so quickly, and before you can.
And that's how it's happened. It happened so quickly because of the accessibility to these children. Now, you think a young adult, a lady, because it seemed to be more geared toward children and young adults and women of all ages. Well, not of certain ages.
Right.
And it seemed to be more prominent toward African Americans or black people, we say. But you know, it's just a society we're living in where we have to safeguard our family, our community.
The one thought that, and when you went back to that thought about the electronic devices, I wanted to go back there because the one thing as parents, we're trying to give our children what is the best in life. But we have to do it like we do everything. Like if you give your child a key to the car, you don't just give it to them because you think, oh yeah, you're entitled to it, and so you should have it and whatever. No, we take precautions. You know, we take them and we get them in driving school. We take them and we do a lot of things to safeguard them on the road. And when it comes to this phone or electronic devices, for some reason, we don't even understand the evil on the other side of that connection with your child. And even if they don't actually physically touch them, they can touch them in their mind in ways that will cause years of battling, trying to get free from an addiction or something that has grabbed them in their mental mind.
And it's more electronically of getting involved with, you know, certain things of predators and child pornography, all because, you know, someone can send a child a video and that child see it open up the gate. And our curiosity, as they, you know, destroys the cat. But we as adults have to be mindful. Now, this something happened, and I kind of don't regret it, but I kind of wish I had did it differently. This lady was on her phone one day walking, and I said, "Ma'am, can you put that phone down for somebody to snatch you?" Because she wasn't paying attention. And lo and behold, there was a white van, 3 parts from her vehicle. You know.
But we're not. And everybody thinks it's going to happen to somebody else. This doesn't happen to me. This doesn't happen to my family. And I know, and you know, that it doesn't take but a split second for something to happen. And when children are opened up to, let's say, pornography. Because that's the big thing now. And I know, I'm going to talk to you adults real quick on this because, and every chance I get, I'm going to talk to y'all about this. Little Sarah and little Bobby in their room with an electronic device, it's a probability that they are involved in indulging in pornography because kids in school are introducing it so rapidly, and even at a young age, it's no longer a teenager and then older kids, high school and stuff. No, we have elementary kids.
There are free sites for them. That's how they
and then just like on your device, you get pop-ups. Your children get pop-ups. What's the probability of a child saying, "Well, I shouldn't be looking at this. Let me turn away"? No, they're not. They're going to giggle sillily and share it and look at it together. But little do they know they're opening up their minds to an addiction that now we're started off being fun and games and funny, whatever. Now you are like a social drinker. You went from social drinking to now hiding your drink. You know, you're drinking every day. Well, this is the same thing. The addictions are addictions.
Very stronghold.
And it's a stronghold. So me, myself, I do believe in children having an opportunity to grow and develop, but I think it ought to be with hands-on. There's no such thing as growing up and developing in parenting, without hands-on. And I think if we look at it in the sense of how how we mature in Christ, it's the same kind of thing.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, Christ is on us. Holy Spirit, he said, I won't leave you comfortless. Mm-hmm. But for some reason, we'll leave our children and think they're going to come up with the right answer.
And they're not going to have it.
And they're not going to have it. And then if we go back to the adults, teenagers, I think the thing that gets played on them is the need to be liked and the need to be popular and to be accepted. Mm-hmm. And so there comes their bait, because they play into that on our children.
But even with this sex trafficking now,
yes.
It's really going beyond sex trafficking. This is more really leaning toward end of life of getting organs, because now children are being utilized. Older women are being utilized to bring these people into this underworld.
To trap and then trap. Yeah. And then I know that, like, we and now, I don't know what about y'all, but I can't hardly tell the grown folk from the churn.
Blue hair, pink hair, whatever.
I can't tell the grown folk from... Children used to be able to tell their age. So, oh, she's about 14, 15, 16. You used to be able to say that. Yeah. Not no more. You can't. I can't really tell the difference, because they are allowed... I mean, you can go to high school and see some of the best makeup.
Yeah.
When we come up, you know, you had lipstick and mascara. I mean, not lipstick, lip gloss.
Lip gloss,
yeah. Lip gloss and mascara. Yeah. Every now and then somebody have a pencil. 17 people sharing the pencil. Mm. I know, just horrible. But at the end of the day, it wasn't like it is now. It's, you got a glam squad to go to high school.
Even our grandbaby, she's only 3 years old.
Yeah.
And she's trying to do the makeup thing.
She's
a girly girl.
Girly girl.
Yeah.
But I was that way as a girl too. But it was limited on what I could do. I remember back in the day when our friends talked about makeup and we said we wanted to wear makeup, we wanted to wear it. But mom and dad was like, you got an age that you got to get to before you can do it. Yeah. Now we just kind of like whatever they feel, whatever they kind of want, just let them flow in it. And I think that's where we are losing the ground of children being children, and this need to be, oh God, the industry has basically got all of our girls just thinking they're all supermodels.
Let's take this thought. The Bible speaks about in the latter days of this spirit of lasciviousness will be in the earth.
Yes.
We are in the modern day of Sodom and Gomorrah. We are the new Babylon that has to come to a fall, from government to the church.
Right.
The Antichrist is in the atmosphere.
Yes.
It's already here.
Right.
And little by little, we're digressing of no standard, no morals, just do what you want. And all this is leading toward sexual fulfillment. About me, the big I.
The big I.
I got to do me. Right. I, me. And that's the enemy. And while we have in church and speaking in these different amount of so-called tongues, people are perishing and people are being taken away from us, right in the midst of us.
And this is why I think it's important for parents, fathers and mothers to affirm their children.
Yes.
So that they don't have to search their websites or search social media to be affirmed, to feel like I am beautiful, I am, I'm accepted. They need to feel whole, at home, so they don't put themselves out in the public eye in a way that allures the wrong attention that they, don't want.
And also, this is just going to say it, it's not been a hidden secret of the church, from the priests to the Baptists to the non-denominational church of clergy interfering with these children's lives and sexually violating these kids, and no one seems to be on it.
Well, who do you think is a safe person for
Jesus.
Your children? That's what I was thinking. Yeah. Jesus. And how come we are so trusting with the priest, with the coach, with the with the teachers?
It started being an outbreak of teachers going with children.
Yes, it was teachers,
yes,
priests,
children, yes.
The pastors, the coaches. When I came up in high school, I knew for a fact a coach that was sleeping with a lot of the girls on the teams, like wow. the basketball team or the track team or whatever. And he was a young teacher, so I'm thinking he was in his 20s, mm-hmm. which means, you know, he's attractive to, the girls are attracted to him because he's an older guy. But we're still in high school. We're still 15. Some of us is coming from 8th grade. He was dealing with them in 8th grade.
Wow, he was a pedophile.
But at the time, it made them feel as though they were special, grown and whatever. But in fact, they were not safe, they would, little to say, you can't trust your children with anyone without safeguard. You can't freely turn your kids over to anyone without checking. I don't think there's anybody that you should not question if something looks suspicious.
Even as coming to relatives, you have to be very mindful. Like, mm-hmm. A lot of the violation happen within the family,
right.
Family, friends. Right. Those things happen. You gotta be careful who you leave your children with. You know, you got some single parents that they meet a young guy or a guy, and they go to work, the guy's staying with the children, and you don't know what he's doing.
No.
The child is showing some signs, right. Things are different, but you so busy want a man that you risk your child to be with this guy.
And you and I both know that when there are blended families or blended, you know, children that don't belong to another individual, that takes a development to bond with children.
Yes.
And so these little quick relationships that happen where boyfriend and girlfriend and the child is left with a boyfriend or a girlfriend off the rip, that the bonding may not be there, and this person may have no heart for your child.
And most times they don't.
A lot of times, especially when they don't have Christ, and the child is end up being abused or mishandled because of that. I want to fast forward to this sex trafficking for the adults and how we feel safe as grown-ups because we think we can handle ourselves. Okay. Some of us have weapons of protection. You might have a little handheld. You might have a concealed weapon, or you may have a taser or something like that. Even those things do not safeguard you 100%.
Because if you don't have it in your hand to use right then, it no good. A taser in the purse, a gun in the purse, a gun in the glove compartment is not safeguard.
It's not. And not only that, but don't feel invincible.
Yes.
Because you have a concealed weapon or a taser or something like that. You still need to do safety checks. Watching your surroundings is one of the.
Phone.
Can we put the phone down for 5 minutes?
While they're testing, right then, they run beside you and snatch you, throw you in the back of the van or the truck, you gone. They inject them down, they shut them down.
Yes.
They got some vans that when they throw you in, you can't hear the person screaming.
Right. It's soundproof. It's soundproof.
Yeah.
And this is the thing. I think people need to know it's okay. It's okay. Let me just look right here at the camera. It's okay if you don't answer your phone right away. Because before we had cell phones, people waited till you got home so you can get the message. And now we feel like because you have a cell phone that people have access to you instantaneously, it may not be a situation where you need to answer your phone. You might be able to answer your phone, but maybe this is not the time for you to be distracted and answering your phone.
And don't be out at dark when it's not necessary as an individual. Even as a male, I'm watching. You know, I'm watching my surroundings. And like I say, you know, no one is invincible. No one is not able not to be taken down.
And the holiday season, which is where we are, is probably one of the most dangerous times of the year, not just for sex trafficking and abduction, or
just crime,
but just crime by itself. We just need to, for a moment, stop thinking that it's always going to be something or somebody that we're going to read about, and that it won't be us that people are reading about. We have to be on our guard. And although we want to raise our children in a society where it's cool to let your kids go freely because they're old enough, That's not the world we
Yeah,
live in,
yes,
though. And
that's
we
not the
need
world.
to go back to considering the time that we're in. I think I ministered one time, consider the time that we're in. We're not in the same time where my mother and them, or we would be gone for hours at a time
Yeah.
away from home. As long as we were within earshot.
Yes.
We could be on the next block over and no telling what we were doing or who we were with.
Yeah.
But because mom said it was okay, dad said it was okay, we were good. Nowadays, you really can't. You
Can't gauge it.
Bicycles for the kids nowadays is almost obsolete.
Yeah.
Because you can't let them ride them unless you're riding with them, and then you're not safe. Even if you almost got to ride in a group.
Yeah.
In order to be safe.
That's a good point there. Very good point.
Yeah, because I'm used to go riding by yourself.
Yeah, and sometimes you can feel the vibes that something ain't right, and it's just a different time we're living in.
It is.
So I think I'm gonna start riding my bike on my pedal, just ride in the house.
Just close the garage and
Yeah.
put it up on one of those things and just go
Right.
for what
Go
what
for
they
what
call
I
it,
know.
Peloton
Yeah.
bikes, and just
Be a good Christmas gift. Okay, there you go.
anyway, the seriousness of this trafficking and the abductions, I think is what I'm trying to put out there. I want everybody to be safe. I want the holidays to be good for you, but I don't want you to feel invincible. Don't be so rushed to get gifts and toys and presents. If you feel like you're being watched, maybe you are. Yeah. And maybe you need to take a couple of extra seconds. Ride around the parking lot a few times to find a better park.
Or park way out.
Yeah, because we used to say, well, you park way out. That everyone don't love the Lord. Amen. And church people, we are to pray and watch. And so I want us all to be mindful of the time that we are in, to remember to look out for ourselves and to look out for your neighbor. Safeguard our children. Take a moment and give someone else an opportunity to safeguard their family. Be your neighbor watchman. Watch out for your neighbor. If this is a stranger at the door of the children that are home, and this is not somebody normally in the neighborhood, I'd rather be wrong. I'd rather call and make sure that those children are safe as opposed to not saying anything. So it's just a part of our job, and it's something that we're supposed to do. We're supposed to be look out one for another. So until next time, here at the Round Table, y'all be safe, be blessed, and we'll see you then. Hi, on behalf of the Round Table
and World Changers Tabernacle,
we the Powers want to wish you a happy holiday
and a happy New Year.